Hello, Christy.
Hey Jerry, how are you living your best life today?
Oh my goodness, when you guys are about to find out what I'll be cooking today, by very definition, I'm living my best life today because this is one of my favorite things on the dinner table that I've been making as a kid. You know, my parents
I
have
am
been making when I was a kid.
so this is a family recipe and a family tradition, something part of your sort of weekly um, meal within your family. Is that what it is?
You,
This dish?
yeah, 100%. When it's Christmas or New Year's, it's a birthday. This thing comes out, and I remember growing up as a kid being like, why don't we have this all the time? Because the ingredients in there are very simple, they're very good for you. And then as started making it on my own, I realized why. It is a labor of love. You know,
Okay.
today's secret ingredient is cod liver. It's cod liver. All right.
Wow.
And but the real secret ingredient is love. Because you
Okay.
have to take the time to make this happen, right? This is a very simple recipe. It involves four ingredients. However, you have to treat each ingredient the right way. And we're going to talk
Okay.
about that today. So,
Okay.
very excited for today's episode. And what is today's episode title?
It is about listening to your gut instinct, listening to your heart, listening to your gut, and trying to just focus on being still, quiet, and making the best decisions for yourself through
Yeah,
stillness and quiet. So I'm really excited to talk about that today. But first of all, can I just ask you a question? So tell us
yeah.
what you're making today with the cod
Oh
liver, and
yes.
then I'm going to
Okay.
tell you a little story about cod liver on my
Okay.
end.
I
So
love it.
go
So
ahead.
we're making a cod liver salad today, with the main ingredient
Okay.
being this beautiful smoked cod liver. And
Okay.
fish liver, it's like there's a reason that sharks always go for the liver, right? It's the most nutrient rich thing out there, but also for the skin and the omega acids. But here's the thing, this is actually delicious. Like, this is
Okay.
actually going to be tasty because back, in my culture, my parents, when they went to school, they had to have a spoonful of fish oil, the
Right.
spoonful. And it was
Ugh.
gnarly. It was not a
Right.
good time. It was kind of, my parents were
Okay.
saying it was one of the worst parts about school, but you're growing up in northern part of Europe, and it's cold out there,
Right.
so you gotta protect yourself in the cold.
Absolutely. Right.
hmm
Right.
hmm And we're gonna be
So,
essentially utilizing four ingredients. We're gonna be using some onion. We're gonna be having some
okay.
bread, right? Some white
Ooh,
bread that needs to be a little dried up a little bit, so just leave it out as you cut it, right? So just white bread without the crust, but it needs to be a little hard because we're gonna be cutting into little itty bitty pieces. And then finally, we have the egg, and that's it.
oh, that's
That is it.
it?
And oh, I'm
Wow.
telling you, that's it.
I'm so
Four
excited.
ingredients.
Let me tell you, well, first of all, is that a plain white bread? Because I see some little black flecks in it. Is that pepper or
Yeah,
is
you
it
know
black?
what? I there was a sourdough that I bought, and the outside of it was covered in sunflower seeds, flax seeds, like
Yeah,
sesame, poppies, all that stuff, right? So
that sounds
it actually
great.
just got a little into it, right? As you can see at the bottom.
That looks
So it's just like
beautiful.
poppy seeds, sesame seeds, like
Okay.
quinoa. It looks like a little quinoa in there, but it doesn't matter. Just white bread, any type of white bread is gonna be fine. If it has a little bit of grains in it, not the end of the world.
That sounds great. So let me tell you, in America, I know for myself, just growing up through media, through television and movies, and I've never had cod liver oil before, but I'm guessing that's probably what they had your parents take every day at school to keep them
Mm,
healthy. But we always heard that, if you take cod liver oil, that it's really, really good for you, but apparently that it tastes terrible. So
yeah.
I've never ever wanted to try it, but I love everything that's sort of different and odd. And I was a really strange little kid when I was a kid. I loved like shad roe in the cans. I loved smoked oysters, and I would eat those out of the can, and
That's right.
sauerkraut out
Wow.
of the jar.
Okay.
I was a little kid eating like this, right? And these things are sort of gourmet now, but I know that sounds really strange, but yeah, that was just my palate when I was a child, and
Yeah.
still is. I love all that, but I'm so excited. I've never tried the cod liver oil because it always had sort of a not so great stigma about it. So when you mentioned cod liver salad, I thought, ooh, I love things like foie gras. I love, duck
Mm,
pate, chicken liver pate, and mousse truffee pate, things like that. So I'm so excited about this recipe that you're going to share today. And I wanted to ask you, because it's totally away from that stigma of cod liver oil, but it's the actual liver. And we
hmm.
hear every day that, omega, what is it, omega 6s? Is that what it is from like salmon and different fish oils that
Something
they're
omega,
really,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
anything omega. So I'm excited because I think this is going to be really, really healthy as well. I mean, who knows if it's, on the cholesterol side, is it high in cholesterol? Because I think a lot of the livers can be, but it is a fish, so I'm guessing probably really, really, really healthy for you, and but at least it tastes good. So I'm excited, and I can't wait. I'll take a picture of us, and we can get a picture of the actual tin, the fish tin for the cod
That's
liver
right.
that you can order or buy at an international food store, and
Any
then you
Eastern
guys can
European,
try.
yeah, any place sells Eastern European food, right? The place that have pickled everything, it's any Eastern European food should have this. And and yeah, I'm just cutting up the bread right now,
Okay,
because the thing about this dish is that you need to cut the bread and the onion and the
okay,
egg very finely,
okay.
right?
So that's
That's that's
secret
it right there.
technique. Yes.
This is
Okay.
exactly why I have the bread here that dried up a little bit, right? In fact, like an hour before, I was a little nervous that, oh, it's not dry enough. So I put it outside, right? With the wind,
Okay.
the air coming out. And it got to a point where I can work with it right now, right? Because right now with this
Good.
piece, I'm cutting it in half. But you don't,
Okay.
you imagine having like Wonder Bread. You can still use Wonder Bread. Any type of white bread's fine.
Right.
But the point is, like, if you try cutting Wonder Bread with a knife, I mean, you're going to squish it, you know?
Right. Okay.
So
So you want
I'm using
something a
my
little
serrated
bit
knife.
more dense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
also using my serrated knife. Where's my I'm supposed to have my Cutco knife somewhere. Free sponsorship right there, but it's no longer here. I love Cutco knives. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Right.
Uh,
My husband
okay.
loves cut knives as well. So just a quick question for you. Is there any sort of binder like a mayonnaise or you usually use the sunflower oil? Is there anything like that in this dish
Oh,
to pull it
well,
together
here's the
or is
best
it
part.
just the liver and the egg?
Here's the best part. Here's the best part. So we're gonna
Uh-huh.
take this cod out. Right? We're gonna scoop the cod liver
Oh,
out, right? So this cod
okay.
liver is it's smoked cod, right? So they take the cod liver and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
smoked. And
Right.
then, it's actually what it says right here. It's actually says smoked cod liver in its own oil.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
so what we're
Wow.
gonna do, we're gonna take this cod liver out, and you're working with liver here. So imagine cutting foie gras or pate. It's the liver, right?
Right.
So it's very delicate, right? We cut it up into just itty bitty, just like everything else. And then what we do, sorry, my mouth watering.
It's okay.
Then what we do is we take the bread and we put the
Uh-huh.
bread in the goodness of the
Oh,
oil. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
We soak all
Okay.
that goodness up and we
That's
put that in
amazing.
the dish. And then
Okay.
and then it's just like you're eating it. It's just one of these things where, I don't like egg yolks. It's the thing I don't like the most in the world, I guess. It sounds weird to say.
So wait,
But I
do you
but
not
I
like yolks that are cooked or raw? Like the
I
mush.
I don't discriminate. I hate them all. I hate all egg yolks. It's just
Okay.
not my. I think when I was a kid, I saw somebody like throw up and they look like egg yolk. Something psychologically like I just think they're gross, right?
Right.
But
Okay.
you know what's also gross? Friggin' fish liver, man. Right?
Right.
Like, so it's but this combined with the egg yolk and the eggy goodness just neutralized it, and then you have this beautiful onion
Right.
that's just sitting there, just holding everything together, right? So it's a labor of love, but we're gonna have to figure out a way to weave this into our topic today, which is gut instinct.
Okay.
And I am so excited to talk to you about that as I start cutting this bread because when we're talking about like the gut, right? It's almost like what is gut instinct? It's like what is that feeling that you get that you're like that you intuitively know this is right, or like you have knowledge or something where they say, oh, I have a gut feeling, right? And
Right.
so we were saying gut. This is not a whole session about the gut or the stomach biome. That will come
Right.
maybe, but it's really more. I like what you said about like from a place of stillness and calmness. Like that gut instinct, that intuitiveness, like it's such a special thing because we all have it. And when we know,
Right,
we know. And it's not
right,
logic, it's not rationale, it's a feeling, I suppose.
right. Right. Yeah, and I think, excuse me, I think what's really important is that to understand that I think through stillness and peace and quiet, we all live these sort of hurried lives every single day. We're running in, I know you and I as recruiters, we're running in, from one meeting into another, and there's not a lot of time for
Mm,
downtime, stillness or peace and quiet in our day. So I think that, and a lot of people are this way, especially now that many people are working from home remotely. And so we need to actively find some time in our day. Maybe it's when we first wake up, maybe it's when
yep.
we're getting ready to go to sleep, and we find some time to be still and be quiet. And I think that's where you find access to, you know, listening to your heart, listening to your gut feeling. And that's where you can find the signs
Mm.
or find the messages that will, allow you to attune to your path and to live the best path for you so that you can live your best life today. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say,
Any
I
thoughts?
was gonna say, are you gonna say you're living your best life? Because we have to every single time there's an opportunity to say that.
Yeah.
That's the show, folks. We're living your
You
best
know,
life.
I know we should like have like I'll pay you like $1 every time you say it. We
Oh
put
yeah,
it
like
in
a
a
little
little
ring, like ding, 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 ding,
thing,
ding.
right? Right?
Oh, I would love
But
like a sounding board, and like,
I'll have to find a bell. I know I have a bell somewhere, but honestly, I believe that, when I'm recruiting, I have students that, you know, are non-traditional students. Mine are usually students that come back later in life, right?
Mhm,
That after
mhm.
maybe even in a career right now and are trying just, bucket list, or maybe it will help them for, being the onion getting to you.
How do you did my face tell you that? That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
My gut instinct
mention
is that I gotta go a little away from the onion.
I forgot to tell you, I don't know. Look, I've got my TJ Maxx candle, but if you light a candle, I don't know if you know this trick, but if you light a candle beside wherever it is that you're cutting the onion, it will burn off the I don't know,
What?
whatever it is that onions give off, right? The gases
No.
and it will make
Wow.
you, yeah, so you just light a candle. And I like this one. This is by Villa Hermanos, and it says it was established in 1884. It's from Spain, and it smells so good. It says fig and neroli. I love neroli, which is like orange blossom flower. But anyhow, back to what we were talking about, that, you know, I was talking about, my students are usually older, and some of them now are becoming a little bit younger, and because they're
Mhm.
going to school earlier through like enrollment programs where they can take college classes in high school.
Right.
So they're waiting, in from high school with college credits, and they're ready to go. And so, I know that a lot of my younger students are wanting to go from point A to point B to point C, right? And they have this trajectory that they have planned.
Yep.
Then my older students will have they had a trajectory from point A to point B to point C, right? But life didn't go that way for them. And
And it
so,
hardly ever does, like it's the
right,
way that you plan
exactly,
it, it's not gonna, you're that, but you gotta leave a little margin for magic. But that's something that young people realize. The
right.
plan that you create, it's probably not gonna go the way you think it will.
Right, exactly. And so I feel like, everybody has to understand that we all have a different path. Mine was definitely not traditional. I had friends that, we all graduated from high school. We all went into university. A lot of them graduated, got married, had two kids very quickly, 2.5 kids,
Mhm.
we laugh about that, and went into their career and then started having children. I didn't follow that path. My path was very, very different because I was a performer early on in
Mhm.
my life. And
Yes.
so I didn't finish college. I left school, and then I went back to school, back to college later as, in my late 20s. And so, I'm of a different generation than you, Jerry, but, my life was very different. So my point A to point B to point C, was more of a zigzag, and, you know, um, maybe a few twists and turns along the way, or spirals.
Sure.
And finally, I found a path and direction that sort of encompassed everything, my performing arts, my love for teaching, everything through recruiting. And now through BLT Living, I love to share, my own experiences from my life. And so with everyone here in our BLT audience. So,
Hmm.
I feel like if I had, I always wonder, I truly, truly tried to listen to my gut instinct early on. And I think that in doing so, that led me to a path of performance and performing in the performing arts. If I had just gone on a traditional trajectory for what maybe my parents wanted me to do or what other people were doing, you know, my life would be very different. And I don't know how happy I would be today. And mind you, my path was not an easy one. I had a lot of failures, a lot of times when I fell down, and thank goodness for my family, my friends to help pick me back up, and my
Hmm.
own, sanity and faith, also faith, right?
Oh yeah,
Um,
huge.
to pick me back up to keep going. But, I feel like at the end of the day, what is our goal? Do we want to, you and I had this conversation the other day in our production meeting. When you're 80, 90, 100 years old, you're sitting in that rocking chair on your patio, are you going to have any regrets? Or are you going to be able to
Hmm.
say, I lived a good life, right? And I feel like, if we can share anything with our audience today, is really try your very best to listen to your gut instinct and make choices that are going to make you the happiest, and so that at the end of the day or at the end of, you know, your life in your 80s, 90s, hopefully when you're 100, you can look back and say, I made the best decisions for myself, and I'm proud of those choices, even if there were failures along the way. And sometimes it takes, I always like, what is it? Was it Tony Robbins that said, failures aren't failures? You learn from those, what you might think is a failure. Those are just life lessons, right?
Absolutely.
And you
Reframe. It's not a failure, it's a lesson. And that ability to reframe that is so integral for success. It's a
yes,
stepping stone
absolutely.
towards what you're trying to do,
Yes,
and I have these I just want to show you guys this little action in terms of the onions. To see as I'm you can see the onions are okay,
very fine.
they're very fine, right? And you can see the bread is being cut over here.
Right.
Full, not, we don't have a camera crew just yet to take shots of it, but hopefully you guys got that. I'm gonna raise it up, but then yeah, just very, very finely. That's the whole key here. So cut it up, nothing crazy. Even if you want, after you cut it, just grab a big knife and just cut it a little more. The finer, the better here, right? You want the onions to be kind of subtle and blending in. But I'm also taking the bread here, and I'm also, as you can see, it's very like very fine. I'm cutting it
Okay.
as fine as I can. I'm gonna just try to get this as small as I possibly can, right? So just little.
Wow.
Imagine you're entering a professional pigeon feeding tournament, and
Okay.
you have to get crumbs or something. I don't know. Is there a professional pigeon tournament? There might be. We might sponsor it because we're dropping all these
Okay.
name brands and nobody's getting paid or getting charged. So we'll get a work.
Right. Good.
You know.
Awesome.
But sorry,
Okay. So
you were talking. Just go ahead, please.
that's okay. So when you're doing the bread, are you using that serrated knife to chop up the
Uh,
bread so you're making it like the breadcrumbs?
yeah,
Or
I
are you
am
doing
right. Yeah, 100%. So let me know if you can see this bread action here. I think so.
uh-huh.
As you can see, let me just take a look here. So we're right here. So essentially, I'm just taking a little bit right here, like a little piece of bread, and then we're just
Okay.
cutting it as finely as we possibly can. And I'm
Wow.
just again, it's very rustic, right? Like, and I'm just
Huh?
cutting. This is why this whole process just takes time, folks.
Right.
It's put on a TV show, put on a music, actually put on Christie's album in the background on Spotify, and just cut this away slowly
You
because I mean, when I was doing it, it took me like 45 minutes to an hour. But I was making it with like two cod livers and two eggs, two pieces of bread, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of knife work, is what I'm saying. Um,
nice.
but
Yeah, that's
it's
so
gonna be worth
impressive, but it's so worth it. Yes. So I get to plug my CD here because it's September and we're almost at October, Jerry.
it.
And can
Yes,
you believe that you and I worked together? This is for our audience that when we first started, we started in Melanie Moore's tapping prosperity party, right? And she's
that's
our
right.
wonderful tap teacher, and she put us into a group, tapping, EFT tapping. So, just so you all know, I'm doing it wrong. So it's here, 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 here,
Emotional
here,
freedom technique for people that don't know.
here, right. So I'm showing all the spots where you tap. And so Melanie's amazing. And she put Jerry and another wonderful person in a group. We had a three-person accountability group. So Jerry, the three of us worked together for over a year, right? And we
Mhm.
had to be accountable to each other for something, a goal. And for me, my goal was my CD, right? So and I had started it back in 2001. Can you believe that? I mean, that's a child, a child in college, right? So basically, I started recording my music, and it turned out to be we did more than 10 songs, but we ended up choosing 10 for the CD.
Mhm.
And we ended up uh, finally finishing the masters back in 2019. So all I could think of was what's stopping me? Well, I raised two daughters, and my family was very busy. And finally, both daughters were in college, and I figured it was time. So when I met you, Jerry, it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be accountable to somebody to finish my CD. So
Mhm.
after a lot of work, it will be released. We've been dropping a Waterfall Spotify single every month, or yeah,
Mhm.
every month. And now, October 26th is when we drop the actual CD. And so all my babies will be in the world, all my music babies. So I'm really, really excited. And it's been really fun work. I've built a music team, and they're incredible. I've been working with Corey Crothers with Corey Consulting for music, and then with Stacy Bonk from Laz Promotions, and she's up in Toronto with you, and amazing and for promotion and radio and whatnot. So really, really exciting and
Yes.
exciting time for me. And thank you, Jerry, for being a part of it, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to finish my CD, which is, my life stream. So this is
Wow.
one of
Wow.
the reasons why, you and I started BLT Living, was so that we could help others to accomplish living their life dreams. And so,
100%.
you know, it's, to me, if you can share with others, that's golden, right? So how are you doing?
Oh,
Thanks for
okay.
letting
So take
me plug my.
yes, things are looking pretty good, right? So we've cut most of the bread. We've cut the bread here. As you can see, this was the bread before, right? So nice
Okay,
big chunks, right? Like this, kind of like big chunks. And now
okay.
the bread is just kind of just more crumbly, right? So
Hold,
I'm a perfect. Yeah, yeah. Let me
do
do
that.
the action.
I want to see your
Woo!
picture.
Yeah, the bread action there. Got the bread.
Good.
All right, all right,
Good.
all right.
That's excellent.
And
Thanks.
see, just as you were saying, like in terms of like when you were, I'm so happy and grateful that we're able to. I mean, we're this is our 16th episode, and we're still trying to
Wow.
figure out the technicals. Like this has been such a great learning curve, but also it's like, man, we know how to pull off a TV show now, like,
Yeah.
and it's exciting because like there's such a I would have never. I got to tell you, when we first started talking about this, I'm like. I was a little bit where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do this because I don't want to be on camera cooking for half an hour. Who the hell wants to watch this, right?
Right.
And now I'm so comfortable just like talking about anything and just cooking, and and it's like, wait a minute, would I not cook when we have our calls, and why would I not live stream it, right? Like it's all a magical thing, and then we can talk about a topic like gut instinct, so I'm just going to be continuing cutting this bread, and I'm going to work on this egg right now. I'm going to peel this egg, and I'm going to cut it finally. But as I'm peeling this little egg, I just, I've spent the past couple of years really getting into the gut. I know we're talking about more like gut instinct, but why do they call it the gut? It's like, why do they call it gut instinct? Well, this is like your second brain, and
Absolutely.
it's the food that you put into your body, right? It's like, you're a mother, and I look at my sister, and I see her with the two kids. I mean, she's got like an hour or two to herself after the kids go to bed. So it's
That's
like
it.
you can't really come
Right.
from a place of stillness and quiet because she doesn't have that. So it's almost like, how do you have your instincts, your gut, where you can make the right decisions, where you can make
Right.
space to make time for the right things and also make space and time, take away from the wrong things, right? So, but it
Right.
starts with food, I think. What do you put in your body? You want to have good
Yeah.
instincts, or you want to be coming, like, I feel there's a relationship between the things you put in your body.
Right.
So
Right.
just want to
Absolutely.
let you know, I'm gonna crack this egg, And okay, I boiled this for half an hour or 35 minutes. One time I did this, the egg yolk was not boiled in the middle. I'm not an egg yolk guy, so I don't know about boiling eggs. It's not my culture, right? So this better be solid, okay? Because I did it for half an
It
hour.
will.
So the egg
Probably
is like,
half an hour.
yeah, right. So it's cracked. So I like it's already cracked there. So we're just gonna crack it real good. It's looking good, but I'm just gonna,
Good.
I'm gonna, yeah. So I think it looks good, but yeah, yeah. Peeling the egg.
Awesome. Sorry. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait, and I'm going to try to see if I can find I don't know, an Eastern European market or international
You gotta
market,
have
or
one in
just
Virginia somewhere, right? Like a little anything Eastern European, Ukraine, Russia, Yugoslavia. What am I doing here? Yugoslavia. The former Baltic Yugoslavia, right? But anything Eastern European um, is it should have it there. But yeah, any like you must have like some kind of Eastern European store there, right? Where there's like a whole aisle designed for pickling food, right?
yeah, I'm sure there is. So I'm going to start researching. If not, I will look on Amazon.
Okay.
And so, yeah,
Okay, you ready?
that's amazing.
Okay, it looks
Uh-huh.
pretty solid in here. So we're just gonna do a little egg action here. We're gonna maybe we'll okay, so we're gonna cut
I
it
took
right
a
here in the
picture.
middle. Okay, cut it there, and oh my goodness, we are having. Oh no! Okay, there you go. So the egg yolk needs to look like this, right? But this is what we're
Okay.
looking for. I boiled egg essentially. It's not rocket
Smile.
science.
Okay. Your
Okay,
picture.
so we're gonna cut this finely. So as you can see, right, the bread and the egg, right, they're all a certain consistency, right? So you see, the onion is a certain consistency. The bread is the same kind of consistency, right? Just finely chopped, as finely as you can, like whatever knife skills you have, just go as finely as you can. It's not supposed to be rocket science here. And now I'm gonna do the same thing with the egg and try not to breathe in because I'm not the biggest fan of how egg yolks smell. Um, but yes, 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 and gut instinct. What else? What else about the gut instinct?
Yeah. I just
It's
believe I was, I feel like I just ordered, I'm not a big Audible person,
okay,
but and I'm also not a big social media person, but I'm learning to sort of
but here we
scroll
are.
through the I know, exactly. And I'm learning and trying to learn more every single day about social media. And so just in learning to scroll through Instagram, I found this an ad about Joel, I think it was no, Jose Silva, not Joel. So Jose Silva
Oh
and
yeah,
this
I know all about Jose Silva. You mean
yeah,
yeah? What do you
the
tell
and
me what you learned?
well, I just ordered the book and it's the one about, communicating with I guess those in say if you are Christian, maybe communicating with those in heaven, just communicating with somebody on a different dimension to help guide you, right?
Hmm,
So
hmm.
I should have gone straight to the first book, but you know me, I always go to like the back of the book, to finish reading something and then go back and start at the beginning. I'm so bad, I cheat, but I
That's
cheat on
okay. Listen, you
I
want to.
ordered the other book about communicating with another realm, and so I just started it. So I'm excited to read that or listen to it over the weekend because I can work and listen to something while I'm working because
So
I
let me
sometimes
make
it
sure that it's the same guy. Y-
uh-huh yeah
Jose Silva, the one that I'm thinking about, he's no longer with us.
right
Um,
no that's right
Now, oh, so so you know what's so amazing about this guy? Do you know like his do you know Mind Valley?
yes yes
Okay, the
Mind
founder
Valley
of Mind Valley. Yeah, Visham Lakmiati or Visham and whatever, something with an L. But this dude, I love this dude. Just every time he speaks, I'm just like he's meditative. Like he's just and also he built Mind Valley. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
right
you know, I
exactly
created a course in Udemy 7 years ago, but Mind Valley took courses and now it's an experience. Now it's like you buy this thing for $100 a month. But Jose, the way that everything all started was this guy was a teenager, right, Visham, and he picked up Jose's book on mind control, right? Jose Silva has this brilliant story, right? And he picked up this book and he went to this. He paid a couple $100 to go to this seminar, and nobody showed up. It was just one guy teaching him, but he learned the Jose Silva method of actually being
yeah
able to like close your eyes, visualize, like that entire thing. I mean, the only reason I was even to this Jose Silva stuff was because Bisham actually, his all his success, he said it's because of that, right? He had acne on his face, right? And he was taught a method where, imagine, taking this clouds and then taking the clouds, and then putting the clouds in your face, and that's like a cream, and letting that act. So
Wow.
there's visualization, mind control tactics like frequencies, beta, theta, and now Visham is actually the person who's heading the Silva method.
Oh,
So it's so funny that you bring him up,
great.
like,
Yeah,
because I'm really looking to get more into his stuff because I've taken the course and I got to tell you, man, you talking about woo woo. It's woo woo, but it's all
right.
backed by science, visualization, closing your eyes, imagining, okay, I'm in the boardroom. I picture the tie that I have, yellow socks, yellow tie, beautiful boardroom, see this beautiful background, and I'm telling you, man, it's happening,
Yes,
slowly but surely, you get to visualization, but it's visualization to the point where it's like, hey, you want to just follow the method? Sorry, I just geeked
right.
out on that. But, oh my God, we're half an hour in already. What's going on?
I
Oh
know.
my
It's okay.
goodness.
We got excited. It's all right. We can keep going.
Oh,
So share with us what you have,
okay, okay,
and we
okay. My
will.
goodness. Okay. So we're having too much fun here,
I know,
So
right?
as you can see, we have the egg that is being cut into. I just cut into like stripes, right? The egg over here, and
Okay,
okay, now I'm getting a bit of a handle on it how to do this. Okay, so this is perfect. See, okay, this is a nice little
that's
TikTok video. Ooh, hello. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this egg up. We're gonna go into hyper speed right now because we need to wrap up. So I'm just gonna cut this egg up really finely. So I first cut it vertically, and I'm gonna cut it
okay.
finely. And
Okay.
okay, so we do some chopping action here, but then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cod liver. So this is kind of the. Don't you love cutting boiled eggs? Like
Yes, I.
certain things that I love cutting, like cucumbers. They're great to cut. Um,
Right.
Tofu is interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so we
Yes.
cut this up. Let me just do. Sometimes just finely chop it up a little bit more. So as you can see, I'm just kind of like roughly chopping it, as you can
Yes.
see.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay. So chop this up here. Okay. So let us wrap things up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this beautiful egg and onion and we're going to transfer it to a bowl. So let me go do that right now.
Okay.
Okay. Boom. And boom. And boom. Okay. We got this beautiful action over here. We got the
Wow.
onion, and the egg. The onion and the egg.
Beautiful.
Okay. And now we're not messing around here.
Okay.
Now we're going
I'm
for
going to
the.
take a picture of that. Hold on. Let me just do
Mhm.
this. Okay. Can you flip it upside down so they can see what it is?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Okay, so we have this thing over here. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna be
Got it.
careful because oh God, it's filled with oil, so yeah, I can't really show you guys. So I'm gonna
That's
open
good.
this
I
up.
got the picture. Awesome. Is it hard to open?
I guess so. Well, it's just canned. All right, I'll open it up. Okay, and as
There
you
you
can
go.
see, okay, you have this
Oh, wow.
beautiful oil is kind of dripping down here, but you can see, like there you go.
Wow.
That's good action right there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this beautiful cod out, right?
Oh,
Now
do
I
me
should have
a favor. Hold that back up again one more time with the liver. Awesome. Thank you.
okay. So now we're gonna put
Wow.
this cod. We're gonna take this cod out, and I wish I had a fork, but I don't. So I'm gonna use my hands like a
That's
savage.
okay.
Uh, okay, so we're
That's
gonna take
okay.
all the beautiful cod liver out. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Sometimes it's best to be a savage when you're cooking,
Do you
right?
know what I'm saying?
Oh my
And this is a
goodness.
absolutely. I'm just getting that cod liver out. Okay, so get this stuff out, all the little big pieces, right? But they're little pieces. All I just love the fact that you get to use the oil. You don't need to add any salt. You don't need to add any
Okay.
oil. It's just,
All
it's very like, yeah, yeah. So I'm just gonna chop. Imagine you take cat food and you have to chop it up. Like it's the same consistency, right? In a way. So I'm just gonna chop it up in the same consistency as I chop the egg up, right? And it's like
okay.
it's cutting it. It's like like cutting through butter. In fact, it's not like butter. It's different. So I'm just chopping it up. It looks like high class cat food right now. Okay, and I'm just chop this bad boy up. Get into the little pieces there. So as you can see, just like a rough chop, right? Now it is oily, and this is fishy. So and if you're not into fish or stuff like that, I'm not into fish that much either, and I eat it. So until
Okay.
you tried it, You don't know what beauty of this is. So as you can see, we have our little. Oh, my hands are so oily. The camera is getting. Oh, okay. So, ah, oh no. Okay. Well, whatever. So now we're gonna. Now here's the fun part, right? So we're gonna take this oil, as you can see right here,
Uh-huh.
and we are
Perfect.
gonna take the bread that we just put. We're gonna put the bread in
Oh,
there.
wow. That's amazing.
I
All
mean,
that
it. Oh God.
sauce, right?
100%. So it's just gonna soak up in there. Just put all these little
Wow.
pieces of bread in there. And I lost some oil over here, but it's because I poured it down to show the people. Hi
Right?
everybody. Okay,
Hi.
so I'm gonna put that in there, and then as you can see, like we just have this the bread in there, right? So we're just gonna move it around a little bit, get all that goodness, right? We're not leaving, no man left behind. All right.
No
So
man
we're
left behind.
soaking it up. Absolutely right. And now, just to
Love-
get all those little pieces in there, I don't want a piece of dry bread anywhere. So now it's kind of
Okay.
soaked in this beautiful oil, right?
Right.
And as you can see, it's like this, right? You want to kind of you want to soak it, put it to the top there, ideally. So then what we do is we take this, we put it in the bowl, and then what we also do
Okay.
is we put some of this beautiful chopped cod liver. As you can see, it's
Wow.
just, as you can see, it's
Yes.
like again, it looks just like captured. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the cod liver oil in there with my hands. So 4 ingredients: a boiled egg, white bread, cod liver, and onion. You mix all this stuff together. It's called a cod liver salad. I've been having this on my dinner table as I was growing up. Now I'm making it right now. I mean, I gotta tell you, the cod liver, the egg yolk, the onions, the bread, they all mix together in such a unique way. And then, you soak this all in cod liver oil. So that cod liver that you chop up, you put that cod liver right in there. You put that cod liver oil right there, and you use the cod liver oil to blend it all together. Now I know, cod liver oil is not the funnest thing in the world when you're drinking it or when you're eating it. It's, for health benefits. My parents had to eat it in school. However, when you make this into a salad, do you hear that? Oh, oh, this is what I'm talking about. You put this little piece of bread. I mean, look at this gorgeous goodness right here. Look at that. Now that's what you're looking for, right? You got the cod liver. You got the egg. You have the beautiful, beautiful finely chopped onion. You have the white bread. And you're going to put this on the table, and people are going to start eating it. And it's going to be gone very quickly. And you're going to be sad. But now you know how to make it again. So that's the cod liver salad. Hope you're all living your best life today.